Good morning, children. How are you all? Do you study regularly? Hope that all have done the homework given in the last class. Some of you sent the photos of the homework to me in the last class. Okay, anyway, today let us study about the next kingdom of living things. That is the fourth kingdom, the plant kingdom. Plant kingdom. The plant kingdom. This is the second largest kingdom in the living world. A large number of species species of plants in this world. There are about 250,000 species of plants are known to us. So this is the fourth kingdom of living world. So far you learned about the other three kingdoms, Protista, Monera and Pange. Okay, then this is somewhat important kingdom, or we can say large number of species. Do you remember what are the characteristics of this plant kingdom? Okay, yes, they have chlorophyll. That is the most important characteristic. They are multicellular, they have chlorophyll, and they can prepare their own food. That is by the process of photosynthesis. So these are the characteristics of plant kingdom. I told you there are about 250,000 species of plants are known to us. It is very difficult to study all these plants together. So, for convenience, scientists classified all the plants around us can be into two kingdoms. They are the flowering plants and the non-flowering plants. So, the whole plants around us can be classified into two groups. The plant kingdom can be divided into two groups. They are flowering plants and non-flowering plants. Flowering plants are called phanerogams. This is a new term for you. Phanerogams. And the non-flowering plants are called cryptogams. From the name itself, it is clear that flowering plants produce flowers, fruits, seeds, etc. But non-flowering plants do not produce any type of flowers. So there are two kingdoms, two groups of plant kingdom, flowering plants and non-flowering plants. Let us study about the non-flowering plants first. Non-flowering plants are called cryptogams. Technical term of the non-flowering plant, cryptogams. These they do not produce any flowers. Then how do they reproduce? They reproduce by cell division or by producing spores or in some other ways. So the non-flowering plants. They may be microscopic or large. So they may be unicellular or multicellular. Some unicellular, some plants, some non-flowering plants are unicellular and they are found in the water. But some are, most of them are multicellular. Okay, so the non-flowering plants are called cryptogams. Then these cryptogams or the non-flowering plants are again divided into three groups. They are algae, mosses and ferns. Or we can say Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. Listen carefully. Pteridophyta, that is P. P is silent there. So cryptogams are again divided into Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. The first one is Thallophyta. Thallophyta means they have a thallus-like body. Thallus means very simple body. Their root, stem and leaves are not identified. We cannot say which is the root, which is the stem and which is the leaf. They have a green body but they have no distinct root, stem and leaf. Such plants are called Thallophyta. Example, algae. Algae means on the surface of water, we can see a green substance, or we can say green something like in Malayalam payal or pavi ennu parayum. So that is the algae. The different types of algae are unicellular algae are there like Chlamydomonas, and multicellular filamentous algae like Spirogyra, etc. They have chlorophyll, they can prepare their own food, but they are plants. They are included in the group of plants. Okay, so here this algae are green plants, green, and they can prepare the food. Example, Spirogyra. Okay, that in the water you can see when you take the water, which especially the stagnant water. Then when we take the water in your hand, you can see some green thread-like structure on the water. The place where the water flowing continuously. പറയുടെ മുകളിൽ കൂടെയൊക്കെ വാട്ടർ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒഴുകുമ്പോൾ അതിനിങ്ങനെ പച്ച പിടിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടാവും. When the water flowing continuously, there you can see some green structure. That is called the algae. So they have filamentous structure, filament, thread-like structure. Very good example, Spirogyra. Then the next one is mosses. Mosses are, the next group is Bryophyta. The plant belong to this Bryophyta is mosses. That also you have seen on the sides of the wall, wet wall, on the sides of the well, and any wet surfaces on the sides of the stone, and you can see some velvety covering on the rock or the stone. That velvety covering, when we observe it carefully, you can see many small plant-like living things with some sporangium, some spores in it. So that is called the mosses. They can grow only where the water is available. So that is the mosses. They are called the amphibians of the plant world because they are found in the wet places, only on the sides of the wall or sides of the well, and also such damp or wet places. Okay, so that is the what you say, the mosses. I will show you the mosses after this class. Okay, then the next one is the what we say, the Pteridophyta or the ferns. That also you have seen such type of plants, ferns. These plants never produce the flowers. These three plants do not produce the flowers, and these plants also growing in places where the water is available. And another important characteristic of this plant is they have some these plants have strict root, stem and leaves, and they grow on the places where water is available, and also sometimes on the rocks and sometimes on the big trees. These plants may grow on big trees also. So I will show you that plant. That example of that plant is that ferns. You have seen this type of plants. This is the fern. Here is a fern. This is an example of fern plant. Here you can see this plant growing sometimes on the trees and the places where the water is available. And here it has the root, stem and the leaves. And the leaves contain the chlorophyll. It can prepare the food. And the most important characteristic of the leaf is, this plant is, on the back side of the leaf, you can see some spot-like structures. The spot-like structures you can see in this plant, it is not visible because it is not matured. These plants when mature, they bear some spot-like structures. That spot-like structures are called sori. And that structure contain a large number of spores, and they produce, they help to reproduce. When they fall on the suitable substratum, they grow into a new plant. So this is an example of fern. Okay, so these are the non-flowering plants. Then the next is the, children listen here, this is the what do you say, the mosses. These green velvety patches you can see on the sides of the wall. Okay, here you can see this. This is the mosses. They are called the amphibians of the plant kingdom. They have no roots but root-like structure. If you take one from that, you can see the structure and they produce. Here you can see some structure here, and this structure produce this. The tip of this contain the spores. These spores give rise to new plants. When it mature, it bursts. The sporangium bursts and then reproduce with the help of these spores. So they are non-flowering plants. Okay, that is the here. This is the moss plant. Okay, mosses, amphibians of the plant kingdom. Okay. Difference between algae and fungi. Algae, algae are aquatic and they have chlorophyll, so they can prepare their own food. In the previous class you learned about the kingdom fungi. They cannot prepare the food because they have no chlorophyll, and they are heterotrophic, and it is better to say they are heterotrophic. More than that, they are saprophytic or parasitic, and some are they are symbiotic. That I explained in the last class. So okay. Then there are so many differences given in the textbook that in the textbook it is given in 2 columns that you study well. Then come to the next group, that is the flowering plants. Here the flowering plants. Flowering plants are known as phanerogams. There are different types of flowering plants around us. You can see the brinjal, tomato, rose, hibiscus, like that, different types of flowering plants. That also very difficult to study all the flowering plants together. So for convenience, the flowering plants are divided into 2 groups. They are angiosperms and gymnosperms. Angiosperms. The 2 types of flowering plants are angiosperms and gymnosperms. What do you mean by angiosperms? Angiosperms means these plants produce the flowers. Flowers change into fruit. Fruit contains seeds, and seeds give rise to a new plant. So that is called angiosperms. The angiosperms are a type of flowering plants. But that flowering plants produce the flowers. The flowers change into the fruit after fertilization and pollination, and then that seeds are enclosed in the fruit. Last year you learned in 6th standard. The seeds are enclosed in the fruits, or seeds are protected by the fruits. Such type of plants are called angiosperms. Examples of angiosperms are brinjal, mango, like that, any type of apple, grapes. All these are flowering plants and they produce the fruits. The fruits contain the seeds. Seeds are enclosed in the fruit. That is the meaning of angiosperms. Then other type of flowering plants are gymnosperms. Gymnos means naked. Naked means they do not produce the flowers, but instead they produce a type of cones, a type of structure called cones, cone bearing plants. These cones contain the seeds. So these seeds germinate into new plants. So that is the gymnosperms. They are also known as naked seeded plant. That means they have no fruit, or we can say they do not produce the flowers. Instead of flowers, they have cones. That cones contain the seeds. Seeds are not inside the fruit. Seeds are not protected by the fruit. That is why they are called naked seeded plants. Examples of such plants are pine, cedar, cypress, spruce, etc. They are usually found on the mountains. Some of the gymnosperms are evergreen plants, like pine tree and all. Some of the gymnosperms are deciduous. That means they shed their leaves once in a year. That is called deciduous. Some are evergreen. So like that, 2 types of flowering plants. They are angiosperms and gymnosperms. Angiosperms means the seeds are enclosed inside the fruit. Seeds are protected by the fruit. Okay. Then these angiosperms are again divided into two types. The angiosperms are again divided for convenience depending upon the number of cotyledons in the seed. The angiosperms are divided into two. If the seed contains only one cotyledon, such plants are called monocotyledonous plant. You learned it last year. And if the seed contains two cotyledons, such plants are called dicotyledonous plants. So, angiosperms are two types, monocotyledonous plant and dicotyledonous plant. Monocotyledonous plant example, rice, wheat, maize, grass. Then, and the dicotyledonous plants example, all other flowering plants like pea, bean, etc. Many green gram, gram, all these are dicotyledonous seed. That you learned last year. You learned the structure of the seed also. So monocotyledonous and dicotyledonous plants. So these are the different types of plants around us. Once more listen. Here plant kingdom is divided into flowering plants and non-flowering plants. Flowering plants are called phanerogams. The non-flowering plants are called cryptogams. Cryptogams are three types: Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. Thallophyta have no root, stem and leaf. Example, algae. They have an elongated body with chlorophyll. And mosses or the Bryophyta found on the walls and the wet places. They have root-like structure called the rhizoids and the somewhat leaf-like structure also, stem and leaves. Then the next one is the ferns. Ferns, they are growing in the places where the water is available, especially in the shade of the forest. And then they have some spore-bearing structure behind the leaves. And that small dots you can see on the back side of the leaf. These contain a large number of spores. They produce, they help to reproduce the plant. They are the non-flowering plants. Then flowering plants or phanerogams are two types, angiosperms and gymnosperms. Angiosperms means closed seeded plants, or we can say their seeds are enclosed by the fruit. And example, almost all the flowering plants. Then gymnosperms are naked seeded plants. Their seeds are not enclosed by the fruit. They don't have flowers, but they produce the cones. Inside the cone we can see the seeds. For example, cycas, cedar and pine. Then angiosperms are again two types, monocotyledonous and dicotyledonous plants. Seed with one cotyledon is called monocotyledonous seed, and seed with two cotyledons are called dicotyledonous. So these are and these seeds on getting suitable condition germinate into a new plant, and then that plant grow and produce the flowers also. Like that life cycle is continued. Okay, that's all for today's class. All have to draw the classification in the notebook. The classification of the plant kingdom. First you write the characteristic of plant kingdom, then the classification of the plant kingdom, and study the characteristic of each one and the examples of each one. Okay, thank you.